A big win for the Tennessee Titans last night over the Atlanta Falcons, 23-20. A comeback from last week's loss against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We got to see Cam Ward in action. He didn't play the best, but the most important thing is he got some reps. And you get to put a W in the win column. So I got 4 winners and a couple of losers from yesterday's game. Welcome into Titans Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Brett Alper. And yeah, a 23-20 win. It was a good first couple of drives for the Tennessee Titans. I will say Cam Ward looked a little bit iffy. 2 for 7, not what you wanted to see, but a lot, and I mean a lot of drops on this drive. On all the quarter that we saw him and a little bit of the second quarter, Cam Ward, his mechanics were a little bit iffy, a little bit okay. I'm not going to say it's the end of the world for him, but the drop that everybody will be talking about, and I mean everybody talking about that Van Jefferson drop, and we'll break that down in a little bit. But as a reminder, like last week, guys, this is preseason, and these games don't count, but you kind of want to get into what you're going to see in the regular season. Some guys are fighting for roster spots. Some guys are looking to be a starter. And a lot of the players that we saw on Friday night, there was a lot of good and a little bit of bad. I mean, there's a reason why they got the dub, right? Well, I got 4 winners for you guys and not 4 losers, but 2 losers, because there weren't a lot of losers going into this game. I mean, watching the game that we saw, it was mainly good outing from everybody, but we got to start with the tight end. And we got to start with Gunnar Helm, man. He is going to be an absolute dog when it comes to going into this season. And I think at some point, he's going to take Chigakonkwo's job. And I don't know if I want to see that at this early into his career, because I like Chigakonkwo. He's going into a contract year. But, I mean, 4 catches, guys, 48 yards and a touchdown. And can we talk about that touchdown? Like, it was perfect. It was 2 guys all over, blanketing him, and he goes up, catches that ball. This is a guy that had 60 receptions when he was at Texas a year ago, catching passes from Quinn Ewers. He is a pass-catching demon. I will say he's not your greatest blocker, but if you're going to run a 2 tight end set, if you're going to run a lot of 12 personnel, Gunnar Helm and Chigakonkwo are going to be perfect for each other. And he's coming for that number 1 spot. I think by the end of like week 6, 7, he's going to be that number 1 tight end. You're going to see him as a security blanket for Cam Ward. Rookie quarterbacks, they love, and I mean love, their tight ends. And this is a perfect guy to get about 50, 60 catches on the season. And going into, I'm not going to call it a Brock Bowers type of tight end, because Brock Bowers did something unbelievable. But I think that Gunnar Helm could be one of the most underrated tight ends in his rookie season going into that. And what does that mean for Josh Whyle? He had 1 catch last night. Didn't look the greatest. I think it's a big possibility that he could get cut. And I wish the best for him, but it seems like the Titans, they have their 2 tight ends. Another winner from last night's game against the Falcons, Cedric Gray. And we talked about Cedric Gray as he was fighting for that starting linebacker spot, that second starting linebacker spot next to Cody Barton. And we talked about James Williams and Otis Reese. Well, Otis Reese got cut. He got waived. But since then, the Titans said, all right, it's your time to shine, Cedric, and you go out there and you put on a show. And when he got his opportunities, oh my, he took it. Team 7 tackles and a sack, and it was a good sack. He blew up the running back and then immediately got to Easton's stick, sacked him, and I'm like, is that Cedric Gray out there? Oh my God, yeah, it is. The speed, the bulldozing effect, and he also, when he was blitzing another time, got to the pressure on the quarterback and forced forced a third down incompletion to go to fourth down. It was a great outing from Cedric Gray. And I've talked about just the interior linebacker room like a bunch because that was the number one position battle that you were going to look at going in to this season. Who is going to be that guy next to Cody Barton? Because Orji got placed on IR. He's hurt. But you have Cedric Gray and you have James Williams. Right now, James Williams was listed as the interior linebacker too. But it's a wide open spot. It is all going to all depend because both of these guys, they are not veteran starters. They are not guys that have proven themselves in the NFL. James Williams and Cedric Gray have not proven themselves to be a starter in the NFL. It's a wide open spot, and you got to prove it day in and day out. And it depends on what you do on the field, and practice field, and it depends on what you do in game. And yesterday, Cedric Gray was the winner, the absolute winner, and he could prove to Brian Callahan, hey, this is your time. Maybe you'll start preseason game 3. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a possibility. And we could see him later become the starter. You see them rotate in and out once the season starts, but it seems like they've got their two, Cedric Gray and James Williams. Then we got Elic Ayomanor, and I'm not going to say he did a lot. I like Elic Ayomanor. He didn't do too much, but when you saw him on the field, it just looked really, really, really good. And I was very impressed from what I saw by Ayomanor in last night's game. Only 2 catches for 48 yards. Not going up there and being like an amazing wide receiver, but the route running was unbelievable, and it was great to see him on the field with Cam Ward. Cam Ward was looking for Ayomanor a bunch. You can see that, 23.5 yards per catch. And that is something that I really like to see from Elic Ayomanor. Like specifically, it was the route running from Ayomanor that shows, hey, he's going to be a big target. And I could see him easily passing Van Jefferson because, like, at this point, and I'm going to get into Van Jefferson, like little spoiler alert to kind of who is going to be a loser for this team. Well, we could see here that it's probably going to be Van Jefferson on here because I'm still a little bit angry at him ruining really the best play that we saw from this team going into yesterday. The best throw from Cam Ward, and I tweeted it out that he is going to be a star in the making, and I was really hoping to see him make a play, but he didn't because Van Jefferson is kind of washed. My last winner is Kendall Brooks, and Kendall Brooks is also fighting for that safety spot for the Tennessee Titans, and he played a hell of a game yesterday. It's not going to show. I mean, he has one thing that showed up on the stat sheet, but he was locking down guys nonstop. And Easton Stick, yeah, you kind of looked bad. Well, not only that, you threw a pick 6 to Kendall Brooks. He was trying to make this team. He's coming over from the Colts, like 1 tackle, 1 pass breakup, and an interception that was returned for 6. But it's just not a guarantee that he even makes this roster after the performance because there's no guarantee that the Titans are going to keep 6 or 5 guys on this roster at safety. If they go with 4, then maybe, because you have Amani Hooker, you have Xavier Woods, you have Kevin Winston Jr., and you have Quandre Diggs. That's 4 right there. Are they going to keep another guy on this? If they do keep 5, Kendall Brooks is making his way known up the depth chart to become that 5th spot. But there's no guarantee. And I don't know if he's going to make it, but he made a good impression yesterday, jumping that route from Easton Stick. He looks really good. But it's just going to kind of be, there's too many guys on this, too many people on this roster to be on that spot to have your guy being a starter or being a rotation man for the Tennessee Titans going into the season. I hope he makes it, but it's not a complete guarantee. Now let's go to the losers. Oh, Van Jefferson. I'm just going to bring up, like, he had 0 catches, and it was ugly. It was very, 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 very... I mean, It was right in your bread. It was right in the bread box, man. Literally right in the bread box. And you dropped it. You completely dropped it. And those are plays that are looking like with Elic Ayomanor and James Prochet II, which he's an honorable mention. But you have to make those catches, man. And me personally, I'd cut him. I'd cut him right away. I would absolutely just say, hey, peace, see ya, goodbye. We don't need you. You got Calvin Ridley. You got Tyler Lockett. You have Elic Ayomanor. You have Bryce Oliver. You have James Prochet. There you go. Not looking like there's no need for him. It seems like it's come a long way from him winning the Super Bowl with the Rams years ago. And those drops right there with Cam Ward, you lose trust in your quarterback. And once you lose trust in your quarterback, it's kind of over for you at that point. Going to the special teams as my other loser from yesterday's game. You had Van Jefferson missing, but it was also your new kicker who you got rid of Nick Folk to bring in Joey Sly. And Joey Sly missed an extra point. He was 1 for 1 on field goals, but it was a chip shot, 23-yarder. And Nick Folk is still great. He's still great. I think he's on the Jets now, and he's looking good. And you brought in Joey Sly, who missed an extra point, and that's something you just don't want to see. And then T.J. Sheffield. He's trying to make his spot on this roster as another wide receiver. 0 catches, and he also fumbled a kickoff. So those are two guys, like, he's an undrafted free agent coming in from UConn. I hope he just really hasn't shown out that much. He got 11 snaps in the last preseason game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm not 100%. Like, I was trying to look for the snap counts. I couldn't find them like last week. Teron Davenport, please put them up this week because I'm looking for those a lot. They help when you're kind of determining who's going to be a cut candidate and who's not. But after 2 games, fumbling a kickoff, having no catches, your snap counts going down, I would expect him to be cut after 2 games. Nothing in particular, nothing against the guy, but just not productive. And when you have those wide receivers, like I think Van Jefferson even dropping that pass, but being a veteran on this team, he's probably going to make the team over you. So unfortunately, you're probably going to be a cut candidate going into this. So those are my winners and losers. But overall, the Titans got a win. So go ahead, grade the win for me, A, B, C, D, or F, down in the comments section. I'll give it about a C because Cam Ward didn't look the best and Van Jefferson didn't look the best. But Gunnar Helm, Cedric Gray, your stock is going up. Go down in the comment section, A, B, C, D, or F. That's going to do it for today's episode of Titans Today by Chat Sports. Don't forget to hit that sub button. We're going to cover every single preseason game, have videos throughout the week, so make sure you subscribe to Titans Today. And as always, tighten up.